I am going to start in the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Dear students, how are you? I think all of you are safe and sound at home. Welcome to Virtual Class. Today's topic is tech question. At first, I want to make you understand what is tech question. Tech question is a very short question. A tech question is needed in terms of getting confirmation or for asking a new information. So, in terms of making tech question, you have to follow some rules. At first, you have to know some things. What are they? Actually, at first, you have to know what is noun and what is pronoun, what is subjective pronoun, what is auxiliary verbs. Before going to our discussion, I have to discuss these things. What is noun? Noun refers to name of something. It may be name of anything, any object. It may be name of any person. So, what is pronoun? Pronoun is used instead of noun or noun phrase. Actually, pronoun takes the place of noun or a noun phrase. So you can see that there are a lot of pronouns here that are called subject pronoun. I, we, you, he, she, they, it. They are called subject pronoun. Why should we need this subject pronoun? Because in this tech question, we cannot use noun, especially after auxiliary verb. After auxiliary verb, you have to put pronoun, that means subject pronoun. When I will write on the whiteboard, you will see it. What is auxiliary verbs? Auxiliary verbs mean or refer to helping verb that comes before main verb or principal verb. That means am, is, are, was, were, can, could, may, might, shall, should, do, does, did. These verbs are auxiliary verbs that comes before main verb or principal verbs. So what are the use of this auxiliary verb? Actually, in that question, you have to use these auxiliary verbs. So come to our discussion. Let's come here. You can see that there are 5 sentences. First one is Rahim is a good student. So this is a sentence. That means it's a given sentence or given statement. So when you will see that Rahim is a good student, in that question, the answer will be here. What will be the answer? The answer will be isn't he. How? So look on the whiteboard. Rahim is a good student. This is a statement. So if the given statement is positive or affirmative, the tag question will be negative. So you can see that here the verb is. Here the verb of the main part of the statement. That means the verb of in the main part of the statement. If the verb in the main part of the statement positive, the question tag will be negative. If the verb in the main part of the statement negative, the tag question will be positive. So you can see that is positive. There is no negative sign here. So the question tag will be negative. That means is not. You have to use short form or contact form. So is not is called isn't. So isn't here. So after the verb in the question tag, that means tag question, you have to put the subject of the statement. What is the subject of the statement? Rahim. So you know that Rahim is a noun. That means the name of person. So I have earlier told you that in terms of making tag question, you have to put the pronoun after auxiliary verb here. After auxiliary verb, you have to put pronoun. So Rahim is noun. You cannot put Rahim here because Rahim is noun. So you have to put pronoun of Rahim. So what is the pronoun of Rahim? He. Because Rahim is a person, you have to put he instead of Rahim. So the answer is that Rahim is a good student. The question tag will be isn't he. You have to put question mark at the end of the question tag. So here is first one, and second one is you see that you should not waste your time. So I have earlier told you that if the verb in the main part of the statement, if the verb in the main part of the statement is positive or affirmative, the question tag will be negative. So you can see that should not. So this sentence or given sentence or a statement, you can see that is negative. So the question tag will be positive. That means only should will come here. So what is the subject here? You. You is subject. So you must come after should in that question. You is pronoun. So you should not change it. And after pronoun, you have to put question mark. So come to number third. I can operate computer. I can operate computer. So you can see that this sentence is positive, or the statement is positive. I am telling you again, if the statement is positive, if the given sentence is positive, if the verb in the main part of the statement is positive, the sentence, that means the question tag will be negative. So can, you have to put here negative form of can. That means cannot. So can't. What is the subject? I. I will come here. So I is a pronoun. So you can put I, subject pronoun. At the end of the question tag, you have to put question mark. So come to number 4. He hardly comes here. Okay. In these sentences, I have tried to make you understand how to make question tag. So in three sentences, you have noticed that in every sentence there is a verb. It may be main verb or auxiliary verb. Here is verb. This is auxiliary verb, but here is working as main verb. Should is auxiliary verb. Can is auxiliary verb. There are 3 verbs. So you can see that are auxiliary verb. When you get auxiliary verb, it will be easy for you to make question tag. But when you will see that there is no auxiliary verb in the given sentence or statement, it will be a little bit difficult for you. So what will you do then? The question arises, when you will not find any auxiliary verb in the given statement or given sentence. So you have to follow some rules. We can see that there are some auxiliaries: am, is, are, was, were, can, could, may, might, shall, should, will, would, or do, does, did. In this sentence, we can see that there is no auxiliary verb. If we find auxiliary verb, and if the auxiliary is positive, we have to give the or put negative form. If we get negative auxiliary verb, we have to put positive form. But here we can see that there is no auxiliary verb here. So if we don't find any auxiliary verb, what should we do then? You should then identify main verb or principal verb. Now the question arises that how can you identify main verb or principal verb? You can see that when you will find especially as or es or ed after the word, at the end of the word, when you will get as es or ed at the end of the word, that will be verb. This is a technique. Okay. So you can see that he is subject, hardly is not verb, comes is here verb, because we can see that as after at the end of the word, when we will get as, es or ed at the end of the word, that will be verb for the time being in some cases, but not in all cases. So we can see that comes the verb. When you will get as, es after the verb, that means at the end of the verb, you have to put auxiliary verb does. When you will get ed at the end of the verb, you have to put auxiliary verb did. When you will get present simple or present form of the main verb or principal verb, you have to put auxiliary verb do. So we can see that here is s. That means I have to put does here. So the question is that is it this sentence positive or negative? Is it positive? Is it negative? If you are thinking that this sentence is positive or affirmative, but if you think this, you will be wrong, because you think that there is no sign of not or no. Actually, this sentence is not a positive sentence or affirmative sentence. This is negative sentence, because you can see that here is hardly. Whenever you get or find hardly, scarcely, really, barely, no sooner, seldom, never, nothing, never, nobody, none, that these are the symbol of negative sentences. So when you get or you will get hardly, scarcely, really, barely, that sentence will be negative. So you can see that it is a symbol of negative. It is a negative sign of a sentence. So it is a negative sign, then this sentence is also negative. So you have to make it positive. So if the statement or if the sentence is negative, the question tag will be positive. So you have to give there only does. Does he? At the end of the question tag, you have to put question mark. So come to the last one. They found me yesterday. That means they phoned me, they called me, they telephoned to me yesterday. They made me a call yesterday. They gave me a ring yesterday. So here you can see that there is no auxiliary verb. When I have told a bit earlier that when you don't get any auxiliary verb, you can see that there is no auxiliary verb here, and reason was will be shown here. Whenever you don't get any auxiliary verb, then you have to find out main verb or principal verb here. We can see that I have earlier told you that how to identify main verb or principal verb. You know that after the subject, every sentence, especially every sentence, starts with a subject. So here is the subject. After subject, there is a verb. So here is verb. Also, when you get ed, or you find ed or ed, when you find ed after the word or at the end of the word, that is verb. So you can see that there is an ed. When you get ed at the end of the verb and at the end of the word, that is verb. subject, here